Good morning, beautiful people. Hoping this message finds you well and safe. Wanted to be brief on this one. Um, this one is a selfish thought, though. This has nothing to do with anybody else but you. Um, in 1955, and I'm sure some people are going to drag me on his name, an Italian psychologist by the name of Gaetano Kanizsa introduced the world to the Kanizsa Triangle. And I was thinking out here in the woods, like, what is the best way for me to explain this since you can't Google and listen to me at the same time? So I'm going to break my own Google rule and say, if you need to stop this, to Google Kanizsa. Kanizsa. A Kanizsa triangle was introduced into psychology as the law of closure. So if you can imagine um, a triangle that has three incomplete circles on the end, there's an interesting thing your mind, your brain, your eyes will see. You will see three circles and you will see a triangle, but there are no lines. Your brain is forming this image, like this barrier of a triangle, but there's no lines there. So what it's saying is the closer you put things together, the clearer your brain will see an image that is not really there. So the closer you lump a bunch of stuff together, your brain will say that's what it is. I was thinking about it this morning, and what made me think about it was there was a bee, a big bumblebee that flew right in front of my head, and I was reminded of something I've read and maybe you've heard. A bumblebee aerodynamically should not be able to fly, but it doesn't know that. So it goes on flying anyway. Its body is too fat, its weight is too heavy, its wings are too small, its depth is too thin. But nobody told the bumblebee you shouldn't be able to fly. It doesn't see these limitations or these walls, so it goes on flying anyway. And then I thought about me, and then I started thinking about you. And so what I'm wondering is if you have a goal or a dream or something that you've decided was important to you and you have not acted on it or you are finding it difficult, I'm wondering how many things you have lumped together to create a barrier that is not even there. So, for example, if you have a goal, whatever the goal is, I'm not going to label it. You have a goal and you have a circle of friends that you confide in, that you talk about it to a lot, and all of a sudden, this goal you have, you start to believe is not realistic, or um, it's too challenging, or it's going to take too long, or it's too hard to do, or you don't have enough money to do it. I'm wondering if those friends have created this barrier around you that because you've lumped everybody together, all your friends, all your family, and your dream together, that you've created this barrier that's not real. Professional context. Um, you have an experience with somebody on a team. And then all of a sudden, because you're in close proximity of that person and the people they work closest to, you believe or you start to believe you see that entire department is not functioning correctly. Um, you have a couple things in a work system that do not go right. And so, because that system is part of a bigger system, you lump everything together and then you decide entirely nothing about the system works. This is one of those difficult ones because I would have to talk about it all day um, in order to make it as clear as I would prefer it be clear to you. So I will simply say this: look up Kanizsa Triangle. And then I want you to put in the middle of that triangle your goals, ambitions, and dreams. And then I want you to ask yourself, is your dream stuck? Is your goal stuck in a barrier that you have mentally created that is not even real. Think about that butterfly. A butterfly it should not be able to fly, aerodynamically speaking, the way we understand aerodynamics. But the bee doesn't know that. So it goes on flying anyway. Some of us, some of us are surrounded by barriers that our environment has created. Um, Alonzo, zip code 48213. Too poor, too dangerous. Um, uh, Everybody living in poverty, so you're going to be stuck here, right? And that turns out that's not true. But because that's all I was surrounded by, I started to believe that to be true until I could somehow step back and look at it another way. This is not the gate around my house that my mom wouldn't let me out of. These are mental barriers I've created for myself. And as it turns out, everybody on the block figured out how to get out once we looked at it a different way. So, do not create barriers that are not real. Be sure that the barriers that are holding you back are not some that you have created because you've lumped all the naysayers and challenges together. That's all I have for you. Have fun with the image, see how it applies to you, and then get out of your own way. Like, walk through the gate. There's no gate. As always, I hope this note is finding you well and safe and healthy and patient and diligent. I do hope it's not finding you stuck behind a wall that is not even real. And of course, I hope it's finding you thinking. Stay safe, everybody, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.